Thanks, Darren.
You're welcome.
Big Ant Studios, the creators of last year's big-hitting Rugby League Live, have had another crack at Aussie sports games with AFL Live.
We have the toss of the coin. Collingwood kicking to the right of screen. Zaharas.
Sometimes I wonder about these decisions, Dennis.
Lining up the goal now.
I'm not much of a sportsman, Hex, but there's something really appealing about AFL, and, I think it's because of the huge stadiums with the thousands of stamping feet and the fast and furious pace of the game.
And the fact that you get points for missing.
Stokes onto the ball. Stokes with the shot.
Someone with aim as wayward as yours must really appreciate the inclusion of 2 side goals for when you inevitably go to...
That's much better.
Oh,
There you go.
AFL Live is a lot of what we've come to expect from modern sports games, with a number of single and multiplayer modes and player and team creation menus. Darren.
Oh, thank you. Once again, robotic gamers have been neglected. Why aren't there options to create characters with wheels and lasers? It's nonsense, really.
Lasers would give you a tactical advantage, Darren, perhaps an unfair one. Even without lasers, though, there are some strategic elements in the character creation process. Beyond the player's appearance, you can change a whole stack of attributes that influence how skilled that character will be in certain areas. For instance, you might want to boost a player's speed for midfield dominance, or kick distance and mark-taking skills for a strong forward offensive player.
Don't tell me he's going to kick it. He has.
You can boost all the attributes to full to create a power player, but while it is fun having a godlike player on your team, you do pay the price for it later.
Sure do, because with each upgrade it increases your player value, and if your player is at 100%, then it'll take a huge chunk out of your team's salary cap. This means you'll have to skimp out on all the other team members to stay below the cap, and let's face it, you can't win a game with one good player.
It is a pretty good way to balance things out.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think of the gameplay, Hanks?
Well, my advice to anyone who picks up this game is to really take some time to read the tutorials in the training menu first. This outlines all of the actions you can perform in the game. You should then check out the 2 practice modes before heading into the competitive arena. This really isn't a game you can just pick up and play.
Yeah, it took me about 30 minutes just to get a hold of the basics, and then even on the easiest difficulty, I was still getting slaughtered.
Shocking kick, nowhere near the target. Out on the ball.
Yeah, and I think that had something to do with the button layout. We were playing this on PS3, and sprint was bound to R1, and the more advanced moves were bound to R2, and it all just felt a little bit unnatural.
And to make matters worse, they don't give you the option to change the controls. That's a big oversight, particularly in a sports game.
This isn't the most graphically inspired game either. Character models can look a little grainy from some of the wider camera angles, and from closer cameras, depth perception goes out the window and the camera swings to and fro, which makes you a little dizzy.
But it is a large-scale game, and I think they've done a pretty good job of making the stadiums feel big. The soundscape makes you feel like you're crammed into a place like the MCG with thousands and thousands of football fans all screaming. I liked it.
For me, the inclusion of Dennis Cometti and Brian Taylor as commentators adds a sense of authenticity to the action. Cometti really is the voice of AFL, and without him, the commentary would have felt a little empty.
Hello everyone, I'm Dennis Cometti. And with me today is AFL legend Brian Taylor.
Yes, thanks, Dennis. A real pleasure to be here for this game today.
Speaking of authenticity, this is a pretty good representation of the game. There's a good pace to the play, and once you master the controls, the fluid motion of AFL presents itself.
Side bottom.
Stringing together a series of kicks and passes to finish off with a goal is a good feeling, and while the character animations are generally pretty average, leaping off an opponent's back to take a mark looks awesome, and it makes you feel awesomer.
Remus.
But once you work up all this momentum, it's suddenly stripped away by some rubbish AI. When you change to a new player, there's often a fraction of a second where the character moves in a completely random direction. It's only a moment's lag, but it's enough time to lose the football.
When you take a mark inside 50, you get the option to perform a set shot. In third-person view, you have to find the right balance between the strength of the kick and the wind direction to guide that ball home.
You have to manually activate these kicks, and it's a good idea to do so at any given opportunity, because it's the most effective way of scoring, and without utilising this technique, then you're going to be hard-pressed to win no matter who your opponent is.
There are 4 game modes, and you'll be spending most of your time in season mode.
Season mode lets you choose your favourite team and play through a full-length premiership season. They've even included the Gold Coast Suns, which is a nice touch considering this is their first year in the league.
You have the option to play custom competitions, which means you can fast-track your way right to the end of the season. Those big end-of-season matches are what most people play for, and while you don't get the same satisfaction as playing through an entire premiership, it's still enough to bring a smile to your face, and I think that's nice. Final thoughts, Tex?
Well, there's no denying that AFL fans will certainly get a kick out of AFL Live, but I just didn't think there was enough here to suck in players who aren't already devoted to the sport, so I'm giving it 6.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I wish I could be more excited and enthusiastic about this game, because let's face it, compared to FIFA or NBA, the market for AFL is quite small. This is really just for Australians, but it is a solid game, so I'm giving it 6 up there Kazali chickens out of 10.
Up there, Kazali, in there and fight, split every atom for nuclear might. Charge up your laser and cook them alive. You have the power, the crowd's on your side. The crowd's on your side.
I don't think that's how it goes.
I don't think so either.
It totally is.
I think it's better, though.
Affirmative.